My name is David Leonard. I'm a director at KAIT. During the show, since we don't have a technical director, I push the buttons to make it happen, and I tell audio when to mic people up, I tell cameras when to move, where to move, that kind of thing. I can tell you the exact point where I decided I wanted to be in TV. And I mean, almost down to the day. There used to be a dorm at ASU called Twin Towers. I was on the 6th floor, I think, and the person in the room immediately next to me on this side, immediately next to them, diagonal from me, directly across from me, and diagonal on this side, were all in TV. They were in the TV program. And I would go, didn't know anybody, so we all met for breakfast and lunch and dinner pretty much every day. They were talking about, hey, I had to get a VOSOT on this and I did a bite on that. And I want to know what the heck they're talking about. So I'm going to take an elective. I took Intro to TV Production with Jennifer Rogers. And around 2 weeks in, I'm like, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. Spring break of my junior year, I switched my major to TV production and performance. And it was that spring break that I decided I wanted to do this. And I started at KIT as a camera operator. Then, sure stroke of luck, within the first year that I was here, the weekend graphics operator left. And I got a chance to move up to weekend graphics. And the director was a really, really good friend of mine. And we would get here before anybody else did, and we would sit and talk about what he did for hours on end. And I just moved up, and eventually got to being a director. Then when I became a director, I started out as camera here in '96. In '97, I became the graphics operator here. In '98, I became a director here. I directed here from '98 to 2002. 2002, I went to Louisville. 2008, into 2008, early 2009, I came back here, and I've been back here since 2009. When I first went up, we had a director and a technical director. The director just watched for composition of shots and when to move cameras. The technical director is the one who actually hit the buttons to make everything happen. When I first got there, most of the time I was TD. I would TD the 5, 5:30, 6, and 11. And for the 7 o'clock, I would direct it and someone else would TD for me. Directing is the most fun. It has not, the other positions rely on the director a lot, and multitasking to me is fun. And anytime I can pull off multitasking more than I should, it excites me. If I see someone who can multitask well, I know they'll be a good director. I can add my own creative spin to it by having the camera operator zoom in, or things like that. Or it could be when I'm transitioning between things. It can be just a direct take. It can be a wipe. There can be an effect in between. That is usually left up to the director. If you're talking about transitions and things like that, yes. Or the shot itself, if there's an over-the-shoulder graphic, the producer decides if there's one, if there's not one, things like that. When it's appropriate, I love to add my own flair to things. But I also, for newscasts, try and remain consistent with what others are doing. So if you're sitting at home, I don't want you to be able to tell that it's me directing. If I did everything the same for every show, hey, that happened. I know it's him sitting in the chair. I like consistency. I want to have all the information so I can help make the show as smooth as possible. If I don't have all the information, that makes it more stressful and more tough for me to do my job. If they don't have a clear idea of what we're doing, I can help them out. We've got younger producers here. I can help them out and help guide their way. That's what I think breaking news, that's one of the more fun things, because you can just throw away the script a lot of the time and just fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing, and it's fun. During the news, pulling off a clean show when I didn't have all the information, where back up. Breaking news is my favorite part because you have an opportunity to be creative but get information that people need to know. So that is a lot of fun when I get to be creative but do it well. For sports, I like the fast-paced, just sheer fun of doing sports. For just other special events, news in the neighborhood, things like that, it's just a good time start to finish. It does have its downfall, long days, but it's also some of the most fun I've ever had in the TV business. Yeah, I do not foresee myself doing anything else. I don't know that there's anything else I could do at this point. If I'm talking to an older generation, I push all the buttons. I just say I push buttons for a living. What do you mean? Well, there are a lot of buttons in front of me. I know what each one does, and I push the button of what I want this piece of equipment to do. And even older generation, I make the pretty pictures on your TV. And that's what I used to say to my parents and stuff. They came up, and when they toured the station, I showed them the switcher, and they're like, "Oh, you were being serious. All you do is push buttons." Yep, that's all I do. I push buttons.